Now, we've all seen our share of 3D animation. At the movies, on TV shows, and in the video games that we may enjoy playing. Have you ever wondered just exactly how they pull all that off? In other words, how 3D animation is actually created? I mean, there's got to be a process or some kind of a workflow to follow, right? You bet. In every animated project, no matter the direction the venture takes or the application it's intended for, there's a very specific step-by-step methodology to working. Every animation begins with a certain concept or a certain idea that you as an animator want to get across. You want to tell a certain story, sell a certain product, demonstrate a certain technique. Makes no difference, each animation will start with a vision. And that vision, normally, in order to stay organized and on track, should be written down. They call that, on paper accounting, a storyboard. And it serves as your roadmap or blueprint to follow over the course of your project. You've probably heard the old saying, plan your work, then work your plan. Well, that's the idea in creating a storyboard. You always want to have your idea or plan sketched out prior to actually making something or beginning to animate whatever you've made. Yeah, the storyboard is work, but trust me, boarding your idea out will do nothing but save time and effort in the long run. In addition to reducing your level of frustration and any possible misunderstandings there may be with others throughout the project. So get that storyboard going. You'll thank yourself once all is said and done. Now, once you have a structured plan in place, you'll begin building the objects that you'll need for your scene. That construction process will have you working in a way that's very similar to how a sculptor molds a piece of clay. The process is typically referred to as modeling, and it works by you basically stretching and pulling a piece of computer clay in order to achieve the look that you're aiming for. The process is very similar to the way that you might have played with Play-Doh as a kid. It didn't matter whether you were making a cartoon character or a car for that character to cruise around in. The creating process always started with a handful of clay that you would then mold into whatever shape you needed. Building things in the computer works pretty much the same way. Now, I am simplifying things a bit, being that there's actually many different techniques that you can use to build things. But in essence, that's pretty much how it's done. Stretching and pulling a piece of digital clay, forming it into the shape you need. Now, once the model's been made, you'll then focus on applying a color or texture to its surface. It'll be that skin, or what is sometimes referred to in 3D lingo as a shader, that'll start to make your objects look more realistic. The overall look of your object's skin will typically be created by using a simple picture that you'll wrap or stamp onto your object's surface. In fact, it's usually a picture of one variety or another that you'll use to control most of your object's surface characteristics. Whether it's smooth or bumpy, dull or reflective, all kinds of different surface attributes can be controlled by the use of a picture. I'll show you how all that works when we get to the chapter on materials. Once your skins are in place, you'll then start concentrating your efforts on controlling the lighting in your scene, which, as you'll come to learn with more experience, can be one of your biggest weapons in creating a certain mood or feel for your work. Unfortunately, lighting is a subject that I've seen far too many new animators underestimate as to its importance in being able to get an audience to react or respond in a certain way to what they're watching. Those newbies apparently forgot how around the days of Halloween, a well-placed light under a friend's chin would make that individual look very sinister and ghoulish, simply because of the position of the light. You gotta always think of lighting as a storytelling tool and use that tool to your advantage. Once your modeling, materials, and lighting are in place, it's time to start moving things around. And this is an area that can so many times keep a person calling animation a hobby and not a profession. It's tough making things move in a way that allows your audience to believe. Yeah, not so hard with maybe a mechanical part moving up and down, but to make a character move in a realistic way, let me tell you, that's a whole nother story. You'll get to doing it well, but it's going to take patience and practice and more practice. Believe me, they pay good animators the huge sums of money they do for a reason. And lastly, one final piece to the puzzle is a process called rendering, which is simply a fancy way of saying that you're going to take a colored picture of the work you've done, sometimes hundreds of pictures. Yeah, you don't want to leave your efforts on the screen, you want to render your project. So it can go out to print, be burned onto a DVD, or maybe even broadcast over the web. It'll be the rendering process that finishes the job, then allowing others to see and enjoy all your hard work. So that's pretty much the production process from start to finish. Put it down on paper, build it on the screen, dress it up with a skin, throw in some light, get things moving, then finish it off by taking a few pictures. That's pretty much it. And when you get a chance, check out the table of contents to this fundamentals title we're doing here. We're going to be showing you how to do all that in the videos that follow. Let's go check them out.